This video is aimed at advanced developers. It shows how you can generate a UX component on the fly at runtime using XBasic in an AJAX callback and then open the component. So you can see here I'm going to click this button here. It's going to make an AJAX callback, and then on the server we're going to generate a UX component. So we've generated the component, and now we just sent a JavaScript alert back telling us that the component was created. And then if I go ahead and click on this button, the component that was just created on the fly has been opened up here. So you can see we've put first name, last name field, an address field, city, state, and zip, and then we've also put a little button over here that puts in an alert. So let's go now and look behind the scenes at how this is all happening. So let's go back to design mode now, and first we'll go to this button that does generate UX, and we can see that this is just a standard AJAX callback that is calling a function called XB_generate. If we go look now at the XB_generate function, we can see that the function is defined over here, and what this function does is call a helper function in XBasic called create dialog using XBasic, and this function generates a UX component on the fly using XBasic, and it builds the component from a definition that is stored in this variable WP. So let's go back here to WP, and we can see here that we have this variable WP, and then inside WP we define page fields, and then we go ahead here and we define all of the controls that appear in this component. Now, these properties that are defined here in page fields are the same properties that you would see if you go to any UX builder and open up the XBasic tab and then look at the properties that are listed in the XBasic tab, excepting that you'll see that we only define the properties here that are absolutely necessary. We don't go and define the full set of properties, because all of the properties that are not defined here will inherit their default values. So you can see here we started out and we've created a frame control, and we've set the frame title to name. Then we've created an input control, and since we didn't specify the control type, it defaulted to text box, and the variable name is first name, and we said no break after it. Then we've got last name, and we've got a break after it, and then we've got the frame end with a break after it. Then we've got the address field, but you can see that we haven't specified a size property, so we got the default size for the address field. Then we have the city field and the state field, then the zip field. Then we've put a button over here, so there's the control type layout directive button. The button text says say hello Gracie, and the on click event says is just a JavaScript alert. So then the key part of this is that the file name that we gave for the component starts with __session file __. So this is the key. So basically the name here is arbitrary. You can choose whatever you want, but by choosing a name that starts with __session file __, we're going to basically create the temporary UX component that is created on the fly into session storage. It's going to go into session storage as a special session file. So then, having done that, we just basically send back a message saying that the component was created. Now the next step is how do you actually go ahead and then open the component. So you can see here we have some action JavaScript, and we started out using action JavaScript to open a UX component. Then we switched to text mode, and so we defined a component just using any arbitrary component to open any arbitrary component. Then we switched over to text mode, and we replaced the dialog to name with our __session __, file, and that's all that we needed to do. So now if we go to runtime, you can see here we generate the component on the fly. So now we've generated a component, and then we can go ahead and open the components. Thanks very much for watching.